in a place where the light comes onto my face. So I had to keep it on way. And then there has to be a plug point near it because it drains power that much. Right? Video conference will drain your power. So you have to be powered online, otherwise suddenly it will stop. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. There are minor, yeah.
Very past 6 years, I'm thinking of going for this postgraduate program. Can you guide me?
Why? This question is why? Why do you want to go for a postdoctoral program? It starts with everything, it's why.
Yeah. Use a lot of opportunities are going to be and gaining knowledge in the area that I want. I'm going to do.
No. Now that you are an academic, you want to gain more knowledge in a particular area. Do you want to do field work? Or do you want to do, do you want extended time so that you can do a field work or you can collect data and then do a research work now? Are you looking forward to, okay, I want to do research now and I want to publish, but there is an interesting theme on which I want to work on. Okay? And hence I want a couple of years outside and get out of teaching, get into an institution where I can be into full-term research. Okay, that is okay. The postdoctoral thing. It could be that when you associate with a professor abroad and just go abroad or any other institution, say that I'm going to be with you. You arrange some stipend or whatever it is for me. I'll work with you, okay, on a research, okay. Or I just want to come and be with you, okay, I'm ready to pay your rent, okay, and you have to get some funding from somewhere else, okay, so if you get some funding from somewhere else, okay, then you can always work in any institute, tell them that, there's not going to be any cost for you, I'm getting money from elsewhere, etc., but then I want to use your library, I want to have frequent discussions with your faculty, etc. Maybe if you want me to take a couple of classes, I'm ready to take classes also. That's sort of an arrangement is possible. But objectively understanding that I want to now spend some time, 2 or 3 years, okay, researching and publishing. That should be the aim, okay, on a particular theme, okay, because I'm fascinated by that theme.
Completed 93. 98, 2000, I worked for a UGC project. As you said, it is not going to be a 20 years back.
So why don't you get a research project and then do it from with your base as DCS Smart? So because we welcome that. I am sure with your credentials, if you apply for a UGC project or a AICT project or a Ministry of Industries project or a Ministry of Small Industry Department of Small Industries project of the Government of India or Ministry of Technologies, DST, Department of Technology project, you can get one, okay? And then you can also think about making it as a teamwork over here. You be the leader, you have a principal investigator, you have a team over here. Take DCS as a base. I think your postdoctoral research you can do here. Think about that. So because we look forward to that. And any seed money, for a seed money for doing a field work or going to libraries and collecting information, a seed money. Provided you put a person deliverable, a pakka project that's a funding agency. Okay? But I require a seed money. We are ready to do this. Okay.
Srinivas, his UGC Southern and Indian office in India. G. Srinivas, I spoke to him once. Spoke to him once, he said, you can get that project maybe based on the institution where you are working and you should show us the infrastructure that you have, the libraries.
UGC is not very, because I was in one of the committee. I was in a committee for sanctioning UGC research projects. Okay, we were just doling out because anybody who came, we just kept on giving it. Okay, that is what we did because there is enough money and there were not enough good project proposals at all. Even for retired people, like even I can apply now. Even if I would have to now associate with somebody, okay, younger to me who is working in an institution, okay, but then I can work for it. Okay? And the UGC's attitude is that retired professors should not sit idle, should do research. Okay? So hence money for them also. And in certain cases it was very obvious, okay, very obvious, even when we gave it, that a professor, retired professor wanted the money actually, because for his livelihood. That is why he had formulated a project so that not much of an expense he can handle it, but he will get some money also. We accommodated that, whether there is going to be an output, there is going to be some deliverable at output, then we should find. Oh, a serious issue. Hmm? What in the ladies' hostel? Who through? Students. So they behaved exactly like Sri Kumar during 1973-75. I didn't throw stones, but then I used to come drunk to the hostel. So I was telling them that students probably were behaving exactly like Sri Kumar during 75 when he was doing. Yeah, we understood. But then I told my faculty colleagues in Trivandrum once that in the evenings I come across students and they tell me that there is no work to do for the next day. I will. It's Joyce calls. Yeah, so good morning again, and then before handing over, the forum to Umesh sir for a moment, I'll just So the most positive point which I found, in the whole case discussion today morning, and then we'll get on to the discussion. The most positive point was that your decision at some particular point of time to group the students and then have discussions for about 5-10 minutes. That way, I think most of them got involved in the case, and at least for those moments they thought through the case, okay, to arrive at something. That I thought was the most important noticeable or positive point as far as today morning's case discussion is concerned. Okay. Other points we'll get from other faculty members. Now, quickly, Umesh sir, can you share with us what we call as your teaching note? Very exactly, you were teaching using this case. What is your teaching note? No, it need not be even. Normally it should be black and white. For every case which I handle, I have something in black and white. I have half a page note at least, if it's the first time that I'm using a small case, okay? Or normally a 1-page note I have, okay? Very clearly written down, why am I using this case for what particular purpose and how am I likely to use this particular case in the classroom before I go to the class, okay? So do you have something like that to share with us? But then even not in black and white, you can just share your thoughts in terms of before you enter the class or yesterday evening, or because you prepared the case in a long back, you have some idea in terms of how can I use this in the class or what particular purpose. Okay?
So the basic purpose of this case was actually detailed for DC books, actually connected DC books in the CA aspect, they are almost 5 years back. So for the office assistants, people working outlets in DC books. Now that particular aspect, that particular time was a big problem where you felt that there was lack of bonding with customers with respect to kind of books being arranged, and the customers were not really benefited out of coming to a particular outlet and selecting and doing. And that's what the kind of quality of the customer relationship. But since when I read the case, I feel that indeed there were some characters which were brought in like now the existence of an organization in terms of values, in terms of organizational values that will be involved, plus the existence of organization in terms of social values created because of foundation. We try to get transfers of knowledge from one decade to next decade or 1 year to next year. How the values will hold on to this kind of organization. That's what. Whether this particular values can be connected to customer relationship, whether the customers are looking for such values to be in their organization, or whether in a implicit manner, whether the values hold on by customers coming in and buying. It is not exactly related to the product or book you are offering. It is basically related to the experience of the ambience. The ambience actually changed from day to day because of various factors. That was the second thing. Yesterday when I thought about it, I was trying to relate the canteen with where a monopoly aspect is being. This is a campus where canteen is working out in competition. The silent bookstores, there was absolutely no competition that was being really focused in an exclusive manner in these. So I was trying to relate that, but I thought that I did not work out on a particular situation. I will listen and this change to my thinking in the morning. So just try to also release the value of money of buying by a customer. Is it because of the reason that the book is very good? Is it because of the reason that the value of physical holding of the book is very good? Or is it because that learning as a process has value? The sense that it is not related to subjects, it is also related to functions and other aspects. We get a lot of insights from these books I thought. So whether on a physical level, the rules can be applied to a customer as a learning aspect. Definitely, that also converts to the external customer relationship relation. So, I feel that basically the case which was detailed actually focused on a small, on a precise level to the relevance of the customer relationship. The service of an outlet with the customer.
Okay. In case you are able to translate into the sort of language which we are using, okay, you need not use. Uncomfortable, don't. But then I normally look at, before I go to the class, in my teaching notes, I would specify, this is the competency for which, this is for the development of this particular competency, okay? It is for the development of this particular competency that I am going to use this case, okay? So either some competency or the most important competency for which you are developing skills through this particular case. Yes. Yeah.
This on the aspect of service differentiation.
Now, what is a competence?
Competence in the sense that how does in the students or
the students.
The thing is that as a professional after reading the books, how will service as a factor improve the demand in the society? How they actually serve the society?
That's the knowledge. I'm talking about what exactly the competency I get out of. What can I do? For example, if I am trained through few cases like this, one case need not, develop the full competency. You might look at a package of cases, etc. But then, to reinforce. So, but then, what is that one simple or most dominant competency? Okay, which would get developed in the student by using this particular case.
The habit of sales. I mean, how do they conduct conversations?
How do they
conduct conversations? I mean, all the conversations.
How do they conduct the counter sales? Okay, fine. So, maybe I think you should think more about it in black and white, in a sheet of paper, the competency for which I'm developing. Okay, and normally, if you really want to develop, I'm using my language as well as the case method language. Normally, if you want to develop a student in a particular competency, a case gives normally what we call as a decision dilemma. Okay, and by forcing the student to tackle that decision dilemma, okay, you develop the competence. That's the whole sequence, what happens. Okay? So, if you are training the student to be a more effective counter sales person, okay, then there has to be a dilemma which is owned by a counter sales person. Okay? Here, in this particular case, implicitly, the dilemma which comes through, okay, is for probably the CEO of the organization. That is the way the case is narrated in this fashion, that the CEO probably has got a dilemma, not a counter sales person, right? So that way, so that might be, you better think about it more because you will go with a black and white, teaching note. But this is what I religiously do. That I never enter a case class without a black and white, case teaching note with me, which normally will be. For me, unlike the Harvard teaching notes, which you can definitely follow. For me, I just give two things in my, three things in my what exactly the competency or the competencies for which I am using, which your language skill. That is number one. Number two, what exactly is the most important decision dilemma in this particular case, which leads to trade-offs. Number three, what exactly are the distinct discussion blocks which are likely to happen inside the class? Okay, so three things: the competency objective. Number two, the decision dilemma. Number three, the discussion blocks. So these are the three things which I normally would have in in a sheet of paper or in my computer before I enter. It's in that spirit that I ask.
The sheet of paper, the scribbling level,
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I wanted. Nothing more than that. Okay.
so the thing is that what I actually added my knowledge, that's the reason I had to change my.
Okay. But then that post small group session was a very productive session because most of the students thought through the case. So they applied their mind post small group. Now I think it's for us now to tell Umesh, how would you have handled this case if you were a case? Thomas Dawson. How would you have handled the case if you were the case teacher? Or how well would you have handled the case if you were the case teacher? Maybe you would have used it for a different set of competencies. Maybe you would have used it for the same competency but in a different way, etc. Pardon?
Just find out who knows awareness of otherwise happening or so I will develop awareness.
About what? I mean, are we talking about his case? Okay.
Then I try to distinguish between one who knows things and one who doesn't know anything about it.
This is a general knowledge question.
And why the person who knows is not better develop that.
So what is this quiz on? I didn't get it. What is the content of the quiz?
What is the advantage of one who is reading regularly now?
No, are we talking about a 15-minute session or are we talking about a case?
No, I'm talking about the case study.
Okay.
What is the disadvantage of one who doesn't have a habit of
Okay.
reading?
Okay.
And I will go to the okay.
Yeah. Now,
This is one way of introducing the topic.
okay. Now, for what sort of a competency will you use this case?
This competency almost allows me to learn this thing with reading habit and understand the advantages of it.
Reading habits. You're using this case for developing reading habits. Sir, please make us understand. I mean, or are you telling that for every case which we are going to use in this institution, the main objective is just to inculcate reading? Yeah, I'm asking about this particular case. Okay, forget about that. Do you have some sort of a comment or suggestion to make to Umesh sir? How else could he have handled the case? Or what did you find positive about the way he handled it, and what did you find negative about the way he handled it? Pardon? Sir, we are talking about a case. We are talking about a case. Are you here with us, sir? Are you Thomas George? Are we sitting in a academic workshop, a course design workshop? Please. Okay. No, I in between I said a couple of times that I'm not talking about.
I'm sorry.
Give Umesh some suggestions in terms of how else could he have handled the case? What exactly were the positive points of the way he handled the case? What are the negative things about the way he handled the case? Let's give some feedback. Huh?
This is not fair. This is 1943 to 47. And then someone can recollect all of your
Okay, yeah. One thing which I like to talk when put as a preamble is that let me communicate in this particular manner. We are not discussing the case salient bookstore, right? We are not discussing the case now. We are discussing the case of Umesh sir handling the case called the salient bookstore. That's the case which we are discussing. I hope I am communicating it right. Yes.
In this particular session,
Yeah.
wherein you have already indicated that what are the positives and negatives of Umesh handling this case, as well as if you were in that position, what you would have done.
Correct.
So that's what I'm
Absolutely. Fine.
indicating. See, one of the things, I'm talking about positives.
Yeah.
Positive side of the handling of relation. The method of bringing the topic of discussion into the session was really good. Because from we started handling and then in fact we were thinking why is he going to the handling and asking the student whether it's where and how. So from there he went to the news, then the news discussion, and again to breakfast, and then ultimately we brought that to the value of contribution, the value of contribution, the importance of value, and how the contribution can be made to the people and that was really good. And of course, for which as took some time, but still it was really good. And there was a surprise element. Because even students are the food government. And in fact, brigadiers are also asking me, beside me, is he going into the phase of in fact, everybody, that is a surprise element. That's what that was a surprise element.
I told on the PLO, I heard that they are not there.
What is that? What did he say? I didn't understand.
Why is not the case? And
Actually,
we also giving a proper micro rating the right strength for.
But what did you say? You told me. You said you told me something.
I told you that
Wasn't that about the newspaper reading part? It was during that time that you said this.
I got it out. Maybe not going to. But they don't have we are saying that I follow. I stay in our assembly.
Because he has not indicated that he is into the and probably those who have read that would have understood properly what it is. And then, without mentioning that there is indication about the customer defendant and the importance of value and the relationship of contribution to humanity to the society and the people. It was one day it was really good because students would have got the students would have gone and introduction to the topic, introduction to the examination. Because in fact about 40 to 50% of the points have already been discussed by me in the introduction itself. Now the grades was uploaded in the Moodle. Yeah, it's okay. We have done. And before the class, when you asked how many of you have read it, and that was a very good thing. Maybe maybe 50% and others maybe have not responded to that. But you would have asked why you have not read it. Now, do you know what it is? So that you would have got some feel about how to handle the class. 50% of the people who are not reading the company discussion will not become good. That was the reason we had a problem. But during this process, you get so much of news, and links that also being president by one so much of things. And after the discussion,
Which is positive or negative?
it is positive.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
And after the discussion, the points are refined and promoted on the road by you. When all the students have given one point, you have refined, you have identified, and you have a matrix form. Actually, when we are doing the case, then we are reading the case, it will be much helpful for students to understand and realize if you do certain things in a different form. It becomes very easy. When we do that, organize, so similarly here also we have done the it was a really good thing. Because I'm sure that at least 10% of the students will remember about the point. That itself is and it was a very good thing. Then another thing which I have seen is that you have made, and I have practiced it, you have made all the community involved. All the maybe small groups of reading. But what I feel is, we would have made it more so that you could have managed the timing problem. And focus. Or only one group okay. And that group formation makes it possible that all the students, you have ensured that all the students. So these were the good points. And then the negatives also I have to. In fact, what I felt, this is my belief. What I felt was the students have not prepared the place for. They are not. It is not your fault. The students have not prepared the place well, and they have not been able to analyze it. They have read it, but reading and analyzing. They are not able to analyze it properly. Then, from your side, time management. Because you wanted to ask all the that is one. Then for group formation part also that was one thing. Either if you would have created some prior list of okay, these things or primary B group, C group, you could have done or maybe what happened? I wanted to, then because the time plan was then
It's not these are exactly
Only 15 minutes. I got all exact timings over here because 8 to 8:30 was the settling down and then newspaper discussions, etc. 8:30 to 8:55 the general introduction, discussion. Okay, it is at 8:55 that you entered the case. Okay. Yeah. 9:15 to 9:30 was spent on forming groups. So all these things are these are the exact times. Yeah.
When I asked you, you asked
because we have one to 9:40. This is to 9:40. In the time experience, I'm not telling the law. Majority of the cases were room and and who have already given their quality, those people start getting it and they are doing the mark and so that I have maybe because then opportunity given to the students to discuss what because when you give them they are supposed to read the song and then discuss it. That you gave that is also an exercise. You did it. Opportunity given in the you could have given one time, but again the management then conclusions about topic and you will not given. Maybe the user will not.
No, I have not done that.
Maybe can be, but actually the agreement or debate that's not possible. So when that is that only I know. So when you give your conclusion or when you give it after conclusion,
No, I asked them. I only asked that you could actually silly question. Their conclusions come.
then the last one is so much of both have advantage and according to me 50% of the movement, just 50%. I don't know how many times they will work it out. But 50% of the time,
95%
that's what is
So I'm not thinking what happens is if I stand on the stage and
Let's listen
Yes,
to the
sure.
full thing. Huh? Yeah, right.
But comparing both things, I do give the rating of around 70% to your policy, and maybe or maybe little more 25%. And then the second part of it.
Okay, yeah.
The second part, if I were handling it, probably I may not have.
For what competency would you have handled?
I would have handled only for the purpose of making them understand the importance of contribution to the society. Not for creating any competency of it. Because this basis
Okay, fine. You want to make the students that organizations should contribute to society. Take a nice example of that, okay? And say this and circulate it to all the students to read, and maybe conduct a quiz later on as to whether they have read and understood or not. Why should 60 people come to a class and spend that much of time, costly time, 60 man-hours for that, just to understand that? Which can be done. You need not bring in 60 people into a physical, space like this, put all of them together in order to achieve this. Because for me, the way I look at it is, okay, I'm bringing students into a classroom. It's a very costly exercise for me, for the student also. That's why I consider the opportunity for the students also very high. When I bring, there has to be a reason as to why 60 heads should be, 60 brains should be together in the class. If, for example, something like one brain transmitting to 60 brains, I can do that through email. I don't have to have a class at all. Okay, I can do it through a video lecture of mine. When now everything, all these sort of technology are available. You can sit in your room and then look at your laptop and then video your lecture. Okay, and then transmit it across. So this is where, in the spirit of it, where your objective is very clear. There's a lot of objective. I'm not saying it's not a lot of them. The objective is good. They have to understand that every organization or organizations which probably want to have competitive advantage should also contribute to society and make it visible that they are contributing to society. This is probably what you mean, correct? Which can be done through a good example or a couple of examples, and then with a small note, a very brief note sent across to everybody. And if you feel that they are not reading it, just have a quiz on that. Okay, that's all. The whole thing gets over. You don't have to have 60 brains sitting together discussing. So I think for every case, for every class, I have to ask this fundamental question. Do I have to have 60 brains sitting together like that? If they don't have to sit together for learning something, you should not bring them over here. It is this costly exercise of bringing them over here. So this is where I said, the only one thing which I am discussing. Why are we doing whatever we are doing? Okay. So this includes also asking them to come at 8:30 or 9:30 to a particular class. There has to be a purpose. There has to be a purpose. Why? I want 60 brains all together in a physically proximate space. So I'm not. Sorry.
So there are the advances of technology and not because of that they have the drawback and all. And afterwards they were not able to contribute what they were actually what they were aiming at to the society. So the requirement of development or keeping pace with the development is most important. No. Not only that, making with how are you making the people to understand this?
Are you telling that you have the answer to this?
No,
you're giving me the answer. So okay, how will you handle this case for competency objective which you mentioned? You said you want to basically make them understand that how put the methodology that you use inside the classroom. That which probably could be similar to what the image did, or it could be different. What would be that? No, but then the discussion. No.
Sir, there is no solution for it. Actually, there is. We cannot say.
No, you have a solution. You already gave a solution that every organization should contribute to society. That's the solution. There is a single answer.
So such type of opinions can be brought in. And then whether it's feasible and relevant.
No, see, my simple thing is that I don't want to get into a dialogue, okay, with a student or anybody else on this issue unless there is a quarrel. If I have a quarrel, then I have to get into a dialogue. If there is no quarrel, and I know that you know that, and you agree with me, and I agree with you, why should I keep talking about it again and again? There's no need at all. So I get into a dialogue with another person only when I have a quarrel. Okay. Otherwise, unless I am in a love affair with a girl, and then I am talking nice to that particular girl, I am not into quarrel. But otherwise, in any discussion, in any formal organization, etc., right? A committee means because there can be diverse opinions coming and diverse perspectives on that particular issue, which can be brought by very informed people, experienced people. So those diverse perspectives will come. From the diverse perspectives, okay, people have now a different understanding about reality than when they enter the committee. Okay, and then after having the different understanding, now the committee deliberates on diverse options possible for tackling the particular situation. So diverse options come, and hence again a committee. Okay, that is basically because you are not able to. Everybody has not come up with one single solution. Okay, to the committee. That is why the committee is there. So unless I have a quarrel, I don't have to have the other person with me. Okay? That's my thing. Okay, so on issues where things are all very clearly known, there are answers, okay, on which all of us agree. Okay, there is no case possible. There is no case method possible. This is my view of it. Case method is possible only if there is a very strong decision dilemma, and when different people are put in that sort of strong, intense decision dilemmas, they can start looking at that particular reality in multiple ways. Okay? And because they are looking at it in multiple ways, everybody else benefits out of buying and selling these different perspectives or sharing these different perspectives. Okay? And then they get into sharing of these different options, etc. So that after 1.5 hours when students come out, okay, they are better informed students. They know that they know about they are aware about the different ways of looking at the reality, and they also know what sort of different actions are possible and what the consequences of those actions. Okay, and then they also should be pushed into a situation, okay, where they also have to go out with their decisions, not one decision in the class. Their different independent decisions with strong logic as to why they decided to go for that particular action. That's what they have to come up with. So this is the way I look at it. So anything which doesn't give scope for this sort of a training, okay, does not require a KC. Is my way of looking at it. Other points about Umesh handling. Anybody else would like to share? Venom, sir.
Probably, as you said, and it was nothing from what are the differences? What is the problem and challenges. Or maybe you will be allowed to find out the challenges. Then you are and if they are unable to find out the difficulties or the challenges, they will be the different things. From there.
What you're saying is that push the students to the decision dilemma at the earliest.
If they are not able to write,
At the earliest.
if they are not able to write, the discussion will go on and on without realizing what the decision is. That is, push the students and to some extent make them come to the point and then guide them to write or to the habits or the A or the so you want to use the common word or it can be related in conflict. So there is a case, you get the school. So all your issues are maybe you can replace it in your life. And continue.
Do you feel comfortable in using this case, this particular case? Why?
First of all, there is no decision. Any protecting such things, and right? The similarities which we are going to discuss, as we look on the side, and this is in German. This could be something we can actually do it for maybe it is in the future or the slow land. Because they take that as a person who is and there are some areas and there are some mention of what is
The case should lead to somewhere the decision dilemma which is being faced by. So I think even though the discussion today is not on case writing, okay. So let me also give a hint over here in the sense that, okay, you go for a field work for case writing, and then you capture the reality. But when we come back, we have to find out is there some value, case teaching value for this reality which I have found out. And the case teaching value comes out the fact that there is a strong dilemma somewhere and on which people have to make trade-offs. There is no need to one single answer there. Okay? There are multiple answers, each has got its own costs and benefits. Okay? So then you go back. Then you go back and collect more information, which would give information which would enrich this, focus on this decision. Okay? So now your field work and your data collection would be focused to gather more information, to highlight this particular dilemma in rich detail. Okay? So there is a different purpose when you go for the second field work, right? And somewhere the protagonists, there could be multiple protagonists within the case. Okay, but then, the protagonist's way of looking at the reality should be very. For example, if you want to put a student in the position of a counter clerk in a bookstore, which is what you said, okay, right? The case could have been easily written by interviewing a store clerk in one of the bookstores and then capture the whole reality. If you had worked for about 10 years, what all changes happened in terms of, because he is day in and day out encountering customers, he can easily conceptualize them and tell you, okay, that. And that should have been captured that, bookstore salesperson's viewpoint and then written the case. But if it is the protagonist is the CEO, then the CEO should have been interviewed, and then the CEO's reality should have been captured and put over there, etc. Right? So these, whom are you interviewing? Whom are you collecting maximum amount of information? Will automatically also determine who is going to be the protagonist in the case. The students will also then capture the protagonist. Okay? So that is a lesson with regard to case writing which I get from.
One more point. I'm not coming on the case.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought the numerator of the case is two ways. So when we are writing, it doesn't connect to beyond the decision.
No, the thing is that if the decision dilemma is occurring at a recent point of time, it is fine. But then, if 1943 or relevant to that even today is the point of time in terms of some information from there, then we may have to bring that also. For example, I think probably what Umesh wanted to inform the case reader was the sort of cultural change which was happening outside in the environment as well as within this particular organization, over decades, probably, right? So that's probably what he wanted to, bring out, okay? But then from that point of view also, I thought the case could have been written more nicely on a chronological, in a manner, okay? So that people are clear about the decades and things like that, etc., right? Because, haziness within the case, unless the purpose is to, create, develop the competency to have clarity in a hazy atmosphere. That's a different case, okay? So that's a different purpose, okay? Unless you have written the case from that particular point of view, you don't have to be very hazy about, things within the case. Okay? You could be very clear about things in the case. Because every case need not be written hazily so that everybody will have always some confusion and then will come to that. That need not be the case, because then we have a very concrete competency objective behind us. Satish sir? Okay. Yeah. Srinivasa sir? The newspaper part is a mandatory part. Please.
classroom class is possible. When we are discussing, some students are discussing, we have a student who are like, oh, how to do better at that. And I personally feel that when the students are discussing, and the content of the meeting is standing and giving the opinion. I cannot agree.
Okay.
But not the question that they don't get answered right, like the interference and the management. To some extent, can be mistakes. Once AS is gone,
So let me ask this question. During the introduction as well as subsequent to the introduction, who was speaking more inside the classroom? The faculty member or the student? It is. Yeah, fine. Okay. Okay.
Especially when the book representative is in a book opinion. It is not about the opinion and finally conclude. Just like getting answers from the book representative. Otherwise, it is explained.
Yeah, fine. Any of the ladies? Yeah, but the classroom arrangement is probably a slight tough. Yeah, auditorium. Sarita. What is your background? What is your specialization? What do you normally teach? Okay. So we had three people with a law background. Baiju also has a law background. Yeah, fine. If the decision dilemma was on that okay, whether to I don't know. Did I understand correctly? There are changes happening in the external environment. What sort of changes should happen in yeah? But then that again has to be something where single answers are not available. Single answers are available. Print it and give it. Okay. So all the students, we don't have to have a discussion about it. Okay. But when single answers are not available, then we require discussion. Actually, I would even say when single answers are not available, and when you also actually do not know, okay, put in the same situation, okay, you might have some bias, but then you are also slightly uncertain about, okay, what sort of a decision would you take, okay? Yeah, fine. So, yeah, but then so there is a hazy, area over there where there is a change in the external environment. If there is a single answer in terms of what sort of internal changes should happen, then there is. Okay. Yeah. Pardon, louder. Yeah. Okay, you are basically telling that this is a symptom, so let us look at the inside, what is happening, okay, and then see what exactly we should do, etc. Good, interesting points. Yeah. She's even taking the case from a pure sales marketing area to organizational change area, organizational development area, etc.
Even if it's strategic, point how things are changing impact organization and what sort of strategic care and in order to change, adapt to changing. Not that this is not a we can also
Okay, right. In fact, I think if you collect more information and put the whole thing in a neat chronological order, with epochs or decades, showing what exactly, was happening to customers, what exactly was happening inside the organization, then I think you get, a nice story out of it. Okay? You should get a nice story out of the case. And then when you stop at this particular juncture, then there will actually be certain dilemmas as to whether we should take the technology, go with the technology route and take it to a logical end, okay? By which there's a hint in the case that, the people orientation, the customer orientation might, slowly decrease. So there are certain minor trade-offs and minor dilemmas hidden in the case, okay, which probably in the way it becomes not glaringly coming out, okay? So, I mean, one would think about it, because I'm sure that this particular analysis, I mean, as you said, it's about easy books. It has been probably at some particular point of time, facing this sort of, yes. Yeah.
We had a very few days of discussion with EF and all the legacy, those legacy for identity on the social aspect. This case was better. Maybe it is not well connected with the books, but it has some kind of importance related. Now, relating to the aspect of the universe, I don't know whether he was in class. He was I don't know who. He was talking about the dilemma aspect of that. I don't really understand. Can you ask me what kind of changes you are advising regarding the can you highlight this disabilities and about this? Like
Now, what exactly is your question?
So, the thing is that you were saying regarding the case for better.
I think he already shared that, the decision dilemma has to come strongly, the protagonist has to come strongly, etc. He already mentioned those things. Yeah, since I think 12 o'clock, I think, there is a different meeting, and I may have to go for that. So we'll have to probably artificially, wind up the discussions over there. I'll just only, to summarize, I'll just make only one slide. Oh, it's not on. This is only to, consolidate in my mind as well as in all our minds, whatever I have talked so far. Okay. No, any problem? Sir, you didn't see him. Please, okay, sorry. Sorry, I missed that.
No, that's really much what I said. I think on the whole was, I didn't have to the stage the end. On the whole, I thought was I learned and one or two aspects, I think users, any case certified, any factor, the style will differ from person to person. But I think as long as the objectives that we have set for users are met, I think the case would have been better. Now, what I would have done or would not have done if I was done in that particular case. First, I will not have spent so much of time reducing the case. I also think that in any group, We can't take it or assume that everybody is prepared totally from the very outset. I think normally in any case, I would start off by asking the participants to give their sense of what their case is. Your style is good, I'm not criticizing it, but I would not have started that way. In fact, I had not read the case, and as you were telling me, I think I had remained baffled for to the time I left, actually, to 9 because I couldn't. And I'm actually going to make it that we are not the person who not already the role. Second, not as a participant or point of view of director, I would not have brought in Candy because it's so deep institutes. And anyway, it's a comparison of battle with the knowledge. Not really have that, students should have about the exactly. Third is actually you must brought to the concepts earlier than the case. I think we should emerge from the discussion. So that is what I would have to do. It not involve what I am intending to cover in the immediate direction and allow to merge from the discussion. And I think that's already brought by the we should not become I would not have been able to question answers. It should have been more of debate amongst the students, and in fact, most of them should have come out with the concepts of the objective that might mind. Also, the end, not just like what I could make of the saying that it must have. I believe that no case is that really open. I feel that there is no correct or incorrect answer to this discussion. Unless there is a historical analogy to that. But then I think the faculty must summarize it, at least bring out the highlights of the discussion or the opposing views. And then after you may keep it open ended. But a case needs to be, I think, summarized and the right thing. Other than purpose, I would say it is like that.
Is it PDF?
Is it only if they go 5 minutes asking the different because otherwise there's no way we can proceed. But if there's too much of reading, then I can
Postpone the class, there's no other way. 34th slide. 34th slide. Yeah. Because many times I had to postpone the class and 8 to 9, giving sufficient time for them to prepare, because there is no point at all in holding the class. I mean, this is just the 34th slide of the presentation on case method, so just a summary part of it. These are the simple points which I keep in my mind, okay? Before going into the case class as well as during the case class. Number one, I would have put it in black and white. What exactly are my competency objectives for which I am targeting this particular case, and what are the discussion that are likely to happen. Okay? In this particular case, okay, assume that I am using it for the fact that should I go more in the direction of technology or should I go in the direction of creating an image in the market about the historical legacy of this particular organization, okay, much more than going, technological, etc. I would have had discussion logs in terms of over decades, what exactly were the changes happening in one discussion log. Over decades, what are the changes that happen inside the organization, okay, would be another discussion log. And this data situation relating to this technology, this property control technologies as well as people orientation is concerned. A third discussion block would be on that trade-off or decision dilemma, and then the fourth would be on what exactly are your action points, whichever the side you are going to be.
So that would have been these competency, then these discussion blocks, put in black and white, using that one page note. I will go to the class to get that. And for the above, the case should have a person
facing a decision dilemma or a trade-off situation, both are same actually. And then I would force the students to be that person in that particular case, almost right in the beginning. I wouldn't get into a case-independent discussion of concepts, okay? Which probably, if you really want a class on that, you could have a class on that earlier or even after that. That's a totally different affair, okay? A case-independent discussion of concepts, which I need not mix up with, okay? A particular case which I am using. I would, as early as possible, I would put up, force the student to be that particular person. Okay? So the dramatic description about Professor Theodore Levitt, who was a marketing professor in Harvard Business School, is that he would have had a roll number while entering the door or the classroom, and he would shout that roll number, then ask the person to get up, and then you are such a person. Okay? In the case, now tell us what exactly is the action which you will take. What is your decision, etc. So he enters the class with this particular question, and then onwards, the people are on the toes and then, react. And whenever students participate, they are participating under certain hypothesis about why certain things happened in that particular organization, in that particular manner, or what exactly are the possible action plans and the consequences of those action plans. Those are the hypotheses. I look at a case class as a hypothesis testing class. Okay? This hypothesis is getting presented in different manners by different students, and the hypothesis is contested by other students. If people have different experiences behind them, different ways of looking at reality behind them, then you will find that there is a lot of agreement on the hypothesis, disagreement on the hypothesis, etc. Right?
So the hypothesis of the student gets tested by the other student as well as yourself, the teacher. The teacher also becomes the devil's advocate. He keeps on testing this hypothesis. For me, the whole case is this. At the end, no summarization is only there. Here is a strong viewpoint which came from these sets of students over here, who are either reviewing about the reality. We had these sort of decisions and action plans. They want to take these sets of students are a totally different way of looking at reality. Their decisions and action plans are different. Hopefully,
each one of you are going out with your own way of looking at this reality and your own way of dealing with this reality. Very understood. That's conclusion for me. Okay. So this is case method for me.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Without giving any answers. Okay. Normally what I do is I say that in one of my earlier classes, some of the students said this, okay, which never came out in this particular class, etc. I wouldn't even say at any particular point of time that I hold those opinions. Okay. The case teacher, who he is, what is his mind, okay, does not get revealed at all in the class. Okay. He's a clean slate all the time because he's a researcher standing there. Okay. When he's a researcher, as almost a full-time researcher, he has got only null hypothesis. The student's problem to test and retest and negate and contest hypothesis. He keeps on holding only null hypothesis. The case teacher. Okay? He doesn't have, disprove any hypothesis at all. So, ideal case teacher would also go to the class, would have gathered all these different sort of hypotheses contested, which adds on to his teaching note for the next time. Okay? But he goes out again with only null hypothesis. One of the Harvard professors in one of the articles on case method had even written, go half prepared to the class. Don't go fully prepared to the class. Okay? Go fully prepared to the class, you have opinions with you. Okay? Okay? If you have opinions with you on a case, on the material, then it's dangerous. Okay? The only, I'm not getting into the other slides because the other team is waiting for discussion over here. In that class, I'm only listening and trying to understand the student's view and how that particular student's view is different from some other student's view. Okay, so once I understand that this student's view is different from the other student's view, now I put them in dialogue. This is what we try to do here. There is absolutely no dialogue between the students. Okay, then you put them into dialogue and say that, hey, he is telling this, he is telling this. Now you sort it out. Let's hear for some time. How are you going to sort it out? Right. So it's between them for some time at least. Okay. Unless you want some more clarification, so that the dialogue will be much more productive. Okay. So unless these quarrels are possible, there is no locus standi for case method. Okay? For single answer, sort of situations where students do not get conceptual clarity, then we require peer learning. So that is why we had designed this workshop, one session for case method and one session for peer learning. So that the peer learning method is pure for exclusively for single answer situations where the concept is complex. So that getting clarity is slightly difficult, and hence you have to have a different mechanism. Where Eric Mazur from Harvard feels that miserably failed when he resorted to lectures method for about 5 years, and he switched over to the peer learning and methodology. So that's where we stop, and then in case there is time today afternoon sometime, tomorrow I do not know, there is some question mark about, am I right, the peer learning session?
It is back.
So the null hypothesis is that we are going to be in 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The null hypothesis.